She's on the ground. So there.
Who is it?
My mom.
What's going on?
This man has just discovered that his wife has been murdered. But he never suspected his daughter would be the one responsible.
What happened? She's going to jail for this. Wife's dead. I was too.
On March 3rd, 2020, Akron police responded to a 911 call. This is what was waiting for them.
She looks like she's been down for a while. There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that, and there's a huge pool of blood. It's got a crime scene.
As officers entered the home, they found Brenda Powell on the kitchen floor with 30 stab wounds in her neck. Her daughter Sydney was in the house and claimed it was a home invasion that escalated into a brutal murder. Initially, the responding officer didn't think Sydney was involved. However, as time rolled on, the details weren't stacking up.
She's on the ground. So there's.
Who is it?
My mom. There's someone broke in the back window.
All right, hold on.
And she's on the ground. And there's.
Hold on.
Where's your mom?
No, there's so much blood. No, please.
Man.
She's in the court now. No.
Stop. Hold on, we gotta figure out what's going on.
Secure the scene. She looks like a 22. She looks like she's been down for a while. There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that. There's a huge pool of blood.
Police noticed that Brenda hadn't just been stabbed, she had also been hit over the head with an iron skillet. As the investigation into the horrific crime continued, it became clear in retrospect that Sydney's hysterics were not from fear, but from guilt.
Where's your mom at? Okay, stay right here.
No, there's so much blood. No, please.
Man.
She's in the court now.
Come on.
Is she gonna be okay?
Come on.
I don't.
Come on. You just need to cooperate with me, all right?
I want my dad.
Huh?
I want my dad.
What happened? What's going on? What's going on?
We heard a bang. We heard a bang. And she told me to get out. And then I heard screaming. So I came back and she was on the ground.
This is a lie. Brenda was on the phone with an administrator at Sydney's school at the time of the attack. During that call, they heard yelling and screaming before the phone cut off. Upon calling back, they heard a voice claiming to be Brenda, but it was in fact Sydney pretending to be her mother.
Did you recognize that voice on the line?
Yeah.
Okay, was that Brenda Powell?
It was not Brenda.
Who did you recognize that voice?
I was sure it was Sydney. Both Dean Fraser and I looked at each other and sort of shook our heads at each other and said, "That's not Brenda."
Okay, you heard a
Right
bang.
out back. There was a bang. Someone broken.
What is your name?
Sydney.
Are you cut?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're cut
I
somewhere.
don't think so.
Yeah, your hand.
No, I was helping her. I grabbed her.
All right, stop. We might have a more, I don't know, check that victim in there. She's got cuts on her hands. I don't know what they have in there, but there's a female down in there. Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. We just got
Dad. I'm the dad.
Okay,
Sydney. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Daddy!
What? What the hell? Where's my wife?
The window's broken, Dad!
Where?
The back window's broken in!
So you're going to have to
Daddy!
inside there? So,
I don't know! There
go
was
check
so
the
much
lady in the
blood!
house. Okay? She's got minor cuts.
She looks like she's been down for a while. There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that. There's a huge pool of blood.
On his way?
Yeah, it's coming.
From where?
Yeah, that's them right here.
Sydney, can you tell me what happened? Huh? Sydney.
It's at this point, officers discover a broken window with blood on the outside of it, leading them to conclude it could have only been broken after Brenda had been stabbed.
Yeah, that's broken and there's blood all over that, so I'm thinking somebody fled out the back.
There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that. There's a huge pool of blood. No, I think she just walked in. There's an open window in the back. So if you can just put up some crime scene tape. As soon as AFD gets here, they're going to announce her, I'm sure.
So I'm bringing Brenda out. They're taking in. They're pouring off the whole house.
Do you live here, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my wife and there's my daughter.
And how old's your daughter?
She'll be 20 in March. 19 minutes today. It's Brenda Powell.
What Sydney hadn't told her parents was that she had been kicked out of college weeks prior and had been lying to them ever since. Take a look at how investigators uncover that the perpetrator of a crime that shocked America was the one they least expected, ultimately leaving an entire family destroyed.
So I call Brenda, and it rings and rings on her cell phone. No answer. I call Sydney back. Rings and rings and rings. No answer. I'm pacing around. I call G back, and as I'm on the phone with him, telling him there's no answer, my doctor calls me back and said, "Oh, Mom's on the phone with Mount Union." I said, "Well, the cops are on the way." And she went, "There's been a break-in," and she just started going off. She said, "What?" She said, "There's been somebody broke into the house. There's blood everywhere." And she was hysterical and crying.
So at first, when you talked to her, she said that your wife was on the phone with Mount Union.
Yes. And as soon as I said, "Cops are on the way," the hysterics started.
This is the moment Steve Powell is about to learn the condition of his wife.
Well, not really bad news. Your wife passed away.
What happened?
We're not sure. It looks like, I don't think someone broke into the house. I don't know if your wife and daughter got into an argument, got physical. I mean, the window was broken, but there's no forced entry into the house. The window's broken, but nobody actually came through that window. And the sliding door was unlocked. So
Clearly they think Sydney did this. I lost two. She's going to jail. Wife's dead.
Initially, she would disclose to doctors that there was a break-in, that she was in the basement when they heard a glass break, and then later she blacked out. All she could remember is waking up with a knife in her mom's throat and that she was trying to stop the bleeding. She tells doctors that when she's initially met with them.
The defense of Sydney Powell knew that there was no denying her harrowing crime. What they argued instead was that Sydney was not directly to blame for her actions, and they argued that she was not guilty by reason of insanity.
What happened is not in dispute. Sydney Powell caused the injuries that led to her mother's death. Why is the question? And Brenda shows up, and they have this conversation, and Brenda's trying to make sense of it, and Sydney's still trying to say, "I don't know, I'm just going to take the semester off." And Brenda knows, and Steve knows, that it's not a semester off. You've been suspended. And the last thing Sydney remembers is Mom saying, "It's going to be okay." She's giving her a hug on the couch. "It's going to be okay." And in that moment, Sydney has a psychotic break from reality. Everything comes crashing in. And for the next 25 minutes, everything Sydney Powell said, everything she did, was done because of a severe mental disease, schizophrenia, that prevented her from knowing the wrongfulness of her conduct.
Sydney was arrested and charged for the murder of her mother, Brenda Powell. She entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, claiming she had no memory of what happened. The jury didn't believe Sydney, and she was found guilty on 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. She was sentenced to life in prison with a chance of parole after 15 years.
Count 1, ma'am, I sentence you to an indefinite sentence of 15 years to life in the Ohio Department of Corrections. On count 4 of the indictment, I sentence you to 3 years in the Ohio Department of Corrections. Those 2 sentences to be run concurrent with and not consecutive to each other.